GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour or so. Our goal would be to go live all night long, like an overnight show. So we want to say thanks to our Patreons, people that make it possible for us to be here, people that subscribe to our projects, both the show and our online resources over on Patreon. So I put out a bunch of links tonight. We'll see if anybody joins us, but we're going to be talking about social platforms and different apps that can be used for activism. We got lots of tools out there. One of the ways to find interest or maybe spark interest or to get past creative blocks might be to explore new platforms, certainly reach new audiences using new platforms. So if nobody joins us, we'll just talk about that. There's the obvious ones, Facebook. Not much to say there. I think everybody understands it's a popular social media platform. Obviously, it has a large user base. You can create pages and groups and stuff over there, and people are familiar with it. Their tools will allow you to reach audiences by targeting and stuff. Twitter, another platform. I've heard a lot of people being excited about it since its face took over, and less throttles on reach. That one uses a stream model with content sharing, short content sharing. So similar to Instagram, which is the next one we'll talk about. Owned by Facebook, so there's some issues there. If you don't want to tangle them up, or if you're not the biggest fan of either that whole Meta situation. You got YouTube that we're on right now. Those are sort of the main ones that everyone should know about by now. You can get more into those if anybody has any questions about them. And then we've got some others that we'll dig into here. So we'll stop for a second here and say hey to everybody that's joining us live. We do these live instead of pre-recorded, produced videos. So we encourage people to be part of the conversation here. It is overnight, so of course we're reaching people that are staying up late or have the night shift. So Wesley's out there, first one to join in. Thanks for joining. And Roy, thanks for joining in every night. DJ's out there. Hopefully stick around. Thanks for joining us. Always happy to have DJ out there offering his effort with Lincoln, putting links out there. And then G23 is out there. Welcome. Oh, got Eagle Run out there as well. Good evening. All right, so those are some of the common platforms that everybody should know about, I suppose, at this point. People may or may not be interested in using them for different reasons. Then you've got Discord, a communication app that allows users to create communities and chat in real time. It's a platform creating a network of activists, or it can be a platform for creating a network of activists, organizing events and sharing resources. You can set up the servers and establish guidelines for the community, and then it has the ability to have voice chats, and I don't know if they have video chat now, but it's a pretty useful platform. The main issue I ever had with Discord right from the beginning was that there was quite a bit of It was weird. I thought of Discord as a storage unit, like a place that has storage units, like little garages next to each other, and you rent them out for some amount of time, and you just store extra stuff in there or whatever you do in there. So I thought of it like that because unlike a mall where you'd have a similar setup, you'd have units next to each other, but at a mall they all have a sign, they all have a window and some kind of a door, and you can come in and make a decision based on the signage if it's something you're interested in, like a mall or like a like a strip center or something. And it's like most of the internet is like that because most of the internet wants you to come in and see what's up. So Discord, it was more like you had to go down a hallway through a bunch of doors, like in the Matrix or something, and know which one to knock on, and then have the secret knock and get in. And once you were in, some club, and it was cool. But that was my problem with Discord: is there were a lot of people putting a lot of time and effort into Discord, a lot of time and effort. And in my experience, when people put that much time and effort into something, you might as well do that in a direction that's positive or useful, right? So that you're archiving. You might not think you're doing anything on YouTube or Facebook. Facebook's a little frustrating, but YouTube, when you lay down videos, they're there forever. Like YouTube's job is to get that video out in front of people. So if you put a video out there and you tag it so it can be found, you're leaving it there forever. There's some use to doing YouTube. Discord, you would put a lot of effort into Discord, and unless someone had the keys and knew where to look, just wasn't there for everybody. So there's another platform that's not in this list that is called Gilded, and it's very similar. It's almost exactly identical, except for it lets you have public rooms. So that's the one I decided to use. But for all the same reasons, it's a communication apps that lets communities get together. And if a lot of communities use the same app, the users, the members of the communities, don't have to have a bunch of different stuff on their phone or passwords to deal with. They can just log into the one app and then jump into whichever server, whichever group that they wanted to participate with at that time. And it's a good way to get a lot of information around. Let's see. Then with Telegram is the next one on the list. That's a secure messaging app. So messaging, texting are peer-to-peer, like a person to a person, as opposed to I'm going to broadcast on my account to everybody who might stumble across it or find it, and then the messages can be shared and linked to, that kind of thing. Messaging is more of like texting. It's more of individual sending it to an individual. Now, of course, there's groups texts, and that can be a part of Telegram also, where you're sending messages out to individuals, to a bunch of individuals in a group. But it's done through a phone, and it's a secure messaging app, so it does have some levels of security to it. And it's more of a, you have the app on your side, the other person has, it's like radios. You have it on your side, they have it on their side. There's not a service that you're connected to, from what I understand. Let's see. It allows you to share updates, news, and resources securely. Its end-to-end encryption ensures that conversations remain private, and the app supports large groups and channels, making it suitable for large-scale communication. So there's another one there, Signal, and I don't know if it'll be in this list or not, but Telegram is kind of like a newsletter, essentially. So it's an alternative to a newsletter. I've seen people use it. I've seen people have success with it. But typically the people that have success with it are specialists who are reaching out with timely information to people on the go, like pilots or locksmiths, people that are doing stuff constantly on the road and need one place that they can check in for data. So it can have some use. Getting comfortable with these platforms is useful, I think, too. It's definitely frustrating having to do this whole thing myself. So if you're one of the people that got a link, what the hell, jump in here. All right. Oh, you know what I was going to do? I'm going to upload this while we're sitting here not doing anything. I got to go find it. It's been so long since I made a video. I think I put them over here. Yep. Right, too large. Come on, man. How large is it? Oh, it's 325. it ain't even near small enough. So what does this do? Oh, video file. Will this just hang on to it now? We'll find out. Yeah, I can just make that my new commercial now, right? Will it just repeat itself? And then at the end, he gets serious. And then he's like, what did you say? He's pretty good at acting. He's kind of like that Chat GBH or whatever. I was just all, hey, why don't we do a karate fight? Oh, what the hell? How can that even be in it? It did the whole thing, I guess. Hold on. I probably tried to upload the wrong thing. Remove, get rid of that. Anyway, so getting back over to it. Meetup. I haven't used this one. Has anybody used any of the ones we've talked about so far? Telegram. You got your Discord. I know some of you are on the Discord. You got you're on your YouTube right now. The other ones are obvious. How many people hate Facebook? How many people use Facebook? Use these keyboards and whatnot, and we can have an interactive conversation here since somebody's joining us on the line. All right, so the next one is Meetup, a platform designed to facilitate the organization of local events and gatherings. You can help activists use Meetup to create and promote events such as workshops, rallies, and educational seminars. This platform can help activists find and connect with like-minded individuals in their local area. Okay, so it's a thing for local events and gatherings, so sort of like Eventbrite, and that's where I would put next to that one, Eventbrite. And Tony Simon's using Eventbrite quite a bit, and I'm wondering what the potential is of using that. Not just to organize meetings, because I don't know what all kind of meetings you can put in there. Like if you just put something in there like the train and learn, right? Like, well, I don't know if does he use Eventbrite for the train and learn? Maybe that's a bad example, but something that's like an event that's coming up, and then I guess add Eventbrite to the list of ways that you're promoting the event. Even if you don't have tickets, I guess that's the big thing. Like, can you just use Eventbrite even if there's no tickets to buy? Or if there's like some virtual ticket you can make up for Eventbrite, or in this case, Meetup. So when we're talking about activism, we're talking about getting the word out. We're talking about normalizing guns, right? We're talking about being able to bring up guns, or at least have guns come up in conversation. Well, he uses Tony does for the diversity shoot, yeah, but I'm saying I wonder if you could use it for other events that don't have tickets. Like Tony literally lets people buy tickets and sign up for the diversity shoots on it. All right, so the next one that we can use as Second Amendment advocates to leverage the different platforms and apps for sharing information and promoting our cause would be LinkedIn. So it's a professional networking platform that can be used to connect with other activists, firearms industry professionals, and organizations. So it's a platform for sure, and it's designed to get people into places and get information out and get people connected with each other. So it's literally for what we're talking about, being an activist. And so as far as I know, like everybody I know on there is pretty much a gun person, so they don't care about guns or anything like that. And again, promoting events, letting people know about accomplishments. It's also for your resume, so adding things to LinkedIn is another way to archive achievements, and people that are looking for inspiration or motivation, think about the things you've already done. Once in a while, go back and spend some time patting yourself on the back, archiving your projects, and making what's it called? Like a summary of what you've done, maybe the last month, last year, since the project started, and that kind of stuff. LinkedIn is a great place to archive that stuff. DJ saying, pretty sure the no charge ticket listings reserve your complimentary seat stuff are free. See, that would be even better. And like for a rally or something, putting it on Eventbrite just gets it out there to more places that are used on the internet, and people see the gun stuff in there. And maybe if somebody sees it on there and they're going to schedule something that they're scheduling, they go, oh, let's not schedule it for the same day as the rally because we care about the rally also. So there might be some actual strategic use for it too. I don't know. I might be making that up because I don't know. I don't usually use those platforms yet. Planning on having Tony come in and talk to us about Eventbrite and his experience with it at some point. Let's see. So that was LinkedIn. Next is one called Gab, and I've heard of it, but I have not used it. It's an alternative social media platform that emphasizes free speech and individual liberties. It's said it can be a suitable platform for 2A activists to connect with each other and share their content without the restrictions on some of the more mainstream ones like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. Not so much on Twitter. So another question out there, since everybody's not answering any of these questions, what about, is YouTube and everything gonna possibly be change of ownership, change of hands, or something like what happened with Twitter? And then all of a sudden YouTube isn't stupid about guns? And then what would happen? The next one in the list is Parler. Parler is another alternative social media platform with a focus on free speech. It's gained popularity amongst conservative and libertarian users. 2A activists can use Parler, like the other ones, to share news and opinions and connect with the others out there to some extent. So Parler was a big deal when, did they kick Trump off of Twitter or something? They kicked Trump off of someplace, or maybe more than one place, and everybody got upset. And that's honestly when I started paying more attention to what the options are out there too. At least in paying attention enough to start writing it down and putting it on some of the websites. So that's when I first became familiar with Parler, and it was fairly new. So became a member over there and was using it, but it was a heck of a lot of political stuff, and that's just not my game. So, I'd post my stuff, and there was a couple of gun people over there that would thumb it up or whatever, but nobody was really using it except for the political people. So that's one of those things. And then at some point it went down. I forgot the deal anymore, but it went down for a little while, and then came back up, and I've got an account there again, and I've tried to use it every once in a while, but again, perhaps if I was more political, might get more use over there. But if your channel is political, then these might be for you. Well, I'm saying if somebody bought it. Like, let's say DJ gets so rich that he just buys YouTube and Google and Alphabet and all that. And then he's like, hey, guess what? Guns are cool. And then he starts putting all kinds of restrictions on anti-gun stuff. And then, so we can just put whatever gun stuff we want up there and make money on it. It'd be cool. The next one is Rumble, a video sharing platform that has emerged as an alternative to the YouTube. It offers a platform for activists to share video content without the restrictions that the other platforms might impose. Can be particularly useful for looking to share educational and informative content on firearms disassembly and cleaning and the things that YouTube specifically now, for whatever reasons, is against. Assembly and disassembly and touching and screwing on silencers or whatever. I'm not saying it's DJ's fault for not being rich enough to buy YouTube until he's rich enough to buy YouTube, and then it's his fault. Let's see. So, Rumble is a neat one, and a lot of people are digging it. So, people are using it. This is, in the scheme of things, the sixth, maybe 10th, depending on what you're going to count as alternative video platforms. But Venmo, was one of the bigger ones, and it had to turn into pay to play, or whatever that's called, because you get big enough and you just can't afford to host videos for free anymore. There's no way advertising can cover it. Google is a much bigger thing than just getting paid to be videos. It's like a chocolate chip inside the batter, but there's a lot more going on that cake than the chocolate chips. So some of the other platforms evolved or changed or failed, and Rumble has been doing pretty well for a while now. It's fairly political from my experience, but there are some gun people over there enjoying it, and that means there's some gun audience over there as well. I'm not sure if on this, and this would be nice to have people in here to have this conversation, so maybe some other channel can steal this and have a conversation about it. But with Rumble, let's say that you've got an audience of gun people over on Rumble. Are they there because they hate YouTube? So if you came over from YouTube, are they going to hate you because you're from YouTube? Because that's happened before. Reddit and other places have had animosity. The forums used to hate YouTube with a passion. They probably still do. Forum people are slow and they like to take forever to come up with a reply, and they like to, it's all back and forth. It's all this like slow game of ping pong or something over on a forum. And every once in a while, there's, pretty much forums are slow and then they're used to doing whatever they're going to do. But when you come over there with a YouTube video, for the most part, they freak out. So, or if you try to talk about a YouTube channel on another platform, they typically freak out. So I'm wondering if that effect is over on Rumble. If you've got people that are over there because they got kicked off of YouTube or something, and that's where they're at, and their audiences are there because they hate YouTube, and if you're over there trying to straddle both sides, I don't know. I've seen that before, so I'm wondering if that's still a thing or if we've moved past that as a community or group of people paying attention to content. All right, that'll be, again, interesting conversation if there's people in here. I sent like 18 people a link tonight, so you can claim 18 people for this show, going to be like half an hour long. So the next one is Pinterest, a virtual discovery engine where users can create boards and share images related to their interests. Activists can use Pinterest to create boards showcasing firearms and gear and infographics related to gun rights, firearm safety, and legal updates. I've used Pinterest, and I'm thinking I would be interested in paying more attention to Pinterest. Now that I've been playing with some AI stuff, it's just got me more into thinking about some illustration type stuff again. Let's see. So then the next one is Minds. Minds is an open source social media platform that encourages free expression and rewards users with cryptocurrency for their engagement. Second Amendment activists can use Minds to share content, engage with others, and potentially earn rewards for their contributions to the platform. So it's a little different than some of the others because there is like a monetization element built into it. I found Minds to be mostly nerds. So, comment or content that's technical seems to do well over there. And some of the political stuff, but while the political people post over there, I just don't see it going very far. So I really like Minds. And I'm not sure if that's one of the ones that's the ones that's blockchain or not. It's either Minds or Locals is blockchain. I never remember. So Signal is the next one. It's a secure messaging app. I remember I talked about it with Telegram up there. So Signal is a secure messaging app that offers the end-to-end encryption again, making it a good choice for people who want to communicate privately. Activists can use it to create groups and share updates and coordinate events without concerns of privacy breaches. And I don't know why that would be a big deal unless, if you're doing something like a Facebook group and people got in there who were trying to mess with you, you could jump over to a Signal or a Telegram and just have a more direct, on the spot communication. It's also potentially a little less cluttered for, if you're at an event and you're trying to communicate with people instead of a group text. Signal or Telegram might give you a little bit more structure than just a group text, but effectively the same kind of thing, a quick communication between people. And it's through your phones. I don't know the tech here because it's been a while since but one of them uses your phone number and the other one uses your email. So they're both aware of who you are, but both of them are pretty much mobile based. We're just saying that he's chatted with me on Telegram. I like Telegram. I have it on there. The one thing that Telegram will save everything to your phone. So sometimes if like a business has a Telegram account and you connect with it, or if like a newsletter or something has a Telegram account and you connect with it and they're prolific, let's say, so they're putting out a lot of stuff, then your phone's just going to collect all that stuff. And unless you realize that and know to look for it and get rid of it or move it, get it off your phone and put it on your hard drive or something, it can get filled up there. All right, so the next one they got on the list is called Clubhouse. I have not used this one. So let me know if you've used Clubhouse, an audio-based social media app that allows users to join or host live discussion rooms on various topics. So activists could use Clubhouse to host discussions, debates, and educational sessions related to Second Amendment and firearms. I have not heard about that one. So anybody ever heard of Clubhouse? It's kind of like a podcast version of what we're doing right now, if somebody would actually be in here with me. Clubhouse, here you are. Okay, I'm scrolling down. First off, they got too much JavaScript. I don't like all this. Hang out with friends, meet new ones, talk. Okay, come on. Get Clubhouse. I guess all you can do is get it, and that's it. It's one of these ones you just got to know what it is and get it, I guess. Kind of interesting. Oops, lost my screen here. My screen share? Oh, I'm not yet screen sharing. Roy's never heard of Clubhouse? Yeah, I just heard of it right now when I first read it. Okay, the next one is BitChute. It's a video sharing. Wait, is BitChute still out there? A video sharing platform that emphasizes free speech and content diversity. Is that true? Is BitChute still out there? No, VidMe's the one that Travis destroyed. Okay, BitChute is still out there. But super weird. So let me close some of these. It says that it's emphasizes free speech and content diversity. Two activists can use BitChute to share and discover video content related to gun rights, firearm safety, and educational resources without worrying about potential censorship. However, you're doing that around a whole bunch of weird stuff, a lot of weird stuff. So I think back in the day, I remember some people putting stuff on BitChute and having some views. Whether or not that did anything for them, is another question. So then you get Nextdoor. That's the last one I think that we've got on the list. It's a hyper-local social networking platform designed to connect neighbors and local communities. Two activists can use Nextdoor to engage with their neighbors, share local news related to firearms and gun rights, and promote local events such as workshops, seminars, and rallies. So I like that idea too. I haven't used that one. So let's see, some ways that you can leverage these things. Since nobody's jumping in, I'll just read through the rest of this. On LinkedIn, you can share articles on firearms legislation, safety, and education to engage with your professional network. You can join LinkedIn groups related to the firearms and Second Amendment advocacy, participate in their discussions there, share your expertise. So most of the .orgs have a presence on LinkedIn, and they have groups that you can join as a member and essentially have a little conversation over there about whatever. Then another one would be to connect with industry professionals and policymakers to expand your network and stay updated on relevant news. And that's super critical right there. I really like the idea of using LinkedIn to connect with people in the industry, because that's always a good idea. but the idea of connecting with policy makers, I like that a lot. So let me know what you think about that. Now you got Gab and you got Parler. You can use those platforms to share content that may be restricted or removed on the big platforms. You can discuss controversial firearms legislation and opinion on gun rights, and connect with other activists who are interested in doing that. That's the thing, you're going to find people over there that are interested in that as well. So getting guns over there, I'm sure, is a good idea. I don't know how many people. Again, if we had a big panel of people like we do some weeks, it'd be interesting to hear what people's experiences are on like Gab or Parler. I don't know anybody who's used Gab. I don't think. Yeah, if I do, no one's talked about it. And then Parler, it's been a while since we've ever talked about it, so I'm not sure who all might be still using it. I typically just drop stuff on Parler. I look to see if I've gotten any comments or anything. Every once in a while, I get like a comment or something, and I'll reply, but not very often. So, it's probably a factor of just dropping stuff and not interacting on the platform for sure. But yeah, I'm just wondering if there are people out there that are interacting and hanging out on those platforms and chatting and stuff like that. Woods is saying on LinkedIn, he'd have to be careful considering what he does for a living, living in a blue state. And that's for sure. Like if I had a panel here of people instead of having to be here by myself, which is, what's the word? This is, well, there's a word for this, but since there's not a panel here, all I can give you is my perspective on it. So yeah, that's a great point. I wouldn't know what it's like. It's been a long time since I've had to deal with anything like that, and I don't think I had to deal with having doing anything for a living back then. So yeah, that's take this advice with a grain of salt, since I can only give it to you from one angle here. But yeah, it would be great to see one of the other chats have these kind of conversations so we can start using these platforms. I think there's some potential here for, again, if you're having like writer's block, or if you're wondering if it's worth doing because you're not meeting the goals that you might have set, or you're not reaching whatever expectations you had on whatever platform it is that you're efforting on, going to a platform that's different or smaller or focused on different stuff and then doing something there. Is that a motivational thing, or is that not, or something else? So then on Gab and Parler, you can also, connect with other 2A activists and organizations to exchange information and resources. Huh. Then you got Rumble and BitChute. You got your video hosting platforms there. It's a good time to talk about the good one, guntube.org, hosted by our friend Mike in South Carolina. It's a US-based. Servers are in the US, run by US people, by a dude over in South Carolina. And they do 2A web hosting as well. But you can host videos over there for free. You can subscribe to their Patreon or support them in other ways, but that's completely, what's the word? Up to your discretion. You can post there and browse and have conversations. It's effectively just a more secure version of a large video hosting platform, except its focus is on guns. Guntube.org. Check it out. So Guntube is a great place to host your firearms videos. Then you've got Gunstreamer, which is kicking again. It's kind of gone back and forth between kind of running and not running. It's sort of running on autopilot right now, but it's still out there, and it's still a pretty fun platform with a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting people post over there, and it's a clean, easy to navigate platform without a lot of garbage and ads and everything wasting your time. Woods has got to take off. Thanks for joining us. Wesley's back. So let's see. And then the last one is UGE, Utah Gun Exchange, does a video hosting platform as well. And little bit more free speech. So there's more than just guns on it. And it shows, there's lots of weird stuff and a lot of political stuff, but a lot of weird stuff. Every once in a while, just a weird pirated movie or something gets stuck up there. So they moderate it and everything, but it's a free speech platform. So it's like Gab and some of the others, but it's a great alternative for posting video content, and I actually get quite a few views over there. Not as much feedback as I'd like. Every once in a while when I say, hey, people over on YouTube, give me some feedback. I get comments and stuff. So I probably interacted more with the platform. That's one of the rules of the game. If you just drop stuff, you're considered just somebody dropping your waste on their platform. If you participate and post videos and stuff that are topical to what they're talking about, then you're in addition to their community or their platform. Okay, so all those together, though, all those video platforms, they can give you a place to create a video series showcasing responsible ownership, gun safety, and training. You can share testimonies from gun owners and activists on how the Second Amendment has positively impacted their lives. You could upload interviews with experts in their field discussing the importance of preserving Second Amendment rights. A lot of people do that kind of stuff. And on these alternative platforms, you don't have to worry about that stuff getting kicked out, and you're also archiving it for those people. You're providing a service to those folks that you're doing these interviews for. Anybody can do an interview and put it on YouTube, but if you're putting that interview on YouTube and GunTube and GunStreamer and Rumble and BitChute possibly, then that's just more coverage that you're able to offer that person. So being comfortable with these platforms and using them for what they're for, and expecting reasonable expectations from them, I think that's part of the key too. And this is where we'd have a conversation about these if there was a bunch of people in here. All right, so the next one is Pinterest. Creating a board dedicated to infographics that present statistics and data related to firearms, crime rates, and the positive impact of responsible gun ownership. I dig everything about that. That's what I was just thinking as I saw Pinterest on the list before. Share visually appealing images of firearms, gear, and accessories along with descriptions and informative captions. Essentially what we do on Instagram, potentially without the persecution. Every time you post a picture of a gun on Instagram, about 90% of the time it gets kicked out as you're trying to sell this gun and you're just posting some picture. I can understand it sometimes, but it's ridiculous. It's persecution at this point. Then create a board dedicated to safety tips and best practices. So, whatever. But anyway, Pinterest, interesting. I don't know how many people might be using it. It's great for kind of browsing, kind of like Instagram, but a little bit deeper. You can click on something there, and then I find it interesting for like the DIY and how-to type of stuff. If I want to figure out how to build a shelf or something for somebody, dig into Pinterest, have them point at one, and then you can go, okay, that's what you're looking for. Got it. So let's see, Minds publish long-form articles or opinion pieces on firearms legislation, the importance of civil rights, the Second Amendment civil rights. Sure, you could share videos, images, and other multimedia content related to activism. That's what I do with it. But again, I pretty much just drop stuff over there. I've been thinking about, and we might do this tonight, going and each night on this show, going through and approaching or whatever, dealing with looking at the comments that came up on the various platforms that we stream out to or whatever we distribute to, in a way to get the comments out there, coming back and getting some use out of or giving people some reach with their comments. Now with Signal, you could use that to organize a group chat for local activists to coordinate events and to share the news and discuss strategies, share sensitive information and update securely with just trusted members of your network. And I think that's important. Too many people fail to think about how Facebook is not our friends. And I don't know what about the news the last couple of years has gotten anybody to think that Facebook is a nice, secure way to do your interactions. Just because it's convenient and easy to Facebook message people, you don't have to jump around on apps, doesn't mean it's the best way to do business. They're literally reading everything you do just so that they can market, but why aren't they using that for other things? And how do you know people aren't monkeying the system, figuring out ways to try to buy ads from people and then discovering who's pro-gun and anti-gun. I mean, there's lots of things that can be done to backwards, finagle the ad systems on these things. So get around all that, get rid of it, don't even think about it, and jump over to a Signal, a Telegram, a different platform for your actual strategic communications. You're allowed to think of these things as strategic. We fail if we think everything we do is inconsequential, I believe. And then this is where we could have a discussion if there's actually people in here tonight. So next we're going to go to Clubhouse, this one that we hadn't heard about before. Could host a weekly discussion room where experts and activists can discuss current events related to firearms and Second Amendment rights. And that'd be awesome. I would really like to see that happen. Organize a Q&A session with firearms instructor, a legal expert, or a policy advocate to educate listeners on various aspects of gun ownership and rights. Yeah, I dig that. Create a club dedicated to 2A activism where members can regularly participate in discussions, share resources, and network. I might have to check out this whole Clubhouse thing. Anybody interested in doing a Clubhouse exploration? Next up is Nextdoor. Share local news related to firearms legislation, incidents, and events to engage with your neighbors. Organize a neighborhood meeting or a workshop on firearm safety and responsible ownership. Promote local businesses such as gun ranges and firearms retailers to support your community. That's actually pretty neat, and I don't have the time to jump on something like that that's local, I don't think, but I think I could see that being something in the future. Or I could see that being something that people are digging that. Like, you have a lot of stuff going on locally. I could see jumping in on that and getting a lot of potential, especially if you live in a, I was going to say, you don't have to live in a big city. A big city might be using this, but a rural place might be using something like this too, because it's a lot easier to use something like that than a phone tree or something else ridiculous, like an old newsletter or something. All right, so that's sort of what we're going to talk about. Still took 45 minutes just to say it all. So this will be a blog post. This will be a series of blog posts probably coming up in the various places I blog post stuff like this. That would be Substack. And then this will probably go up on Gun Channels, the gunchannels.com website. So let's talk about, since everybody's still chatty, let's talk about the least effective platforms and apps in whatever year this is, 2023. But I should have come up with this earlier. Where did that thing drop down to then, I wonder? I know it exported. Oh, you know what I can do? I can just do this and just look at it. Present video. I don't know. Recent. Nothing I have. No, that would be too easy. Videos? Nope. All right, well. Oh, no, it didn't go here either, though. Lame. Let me flip this one more thing to here, and what's going on? Let me flip it to details, and then date in, date out. Yeah, this thing is just not going. It's not cooperating. All right, so let's talk about the least effective platforms and updates, or least effective platforms and apps. But since I can't find that other thing, why don't we do a quick, very loud commercial for our store? You can buy stuff over at our store, help support what we do over here. My coffee's getting cold. All right, so let's talk about the least effective platforms and apps out there. So while a lot of these are probably pretty good, some of them are going to be less effective and not well suited to promoting Second Amendment stuff because their user bases, because of content restrictions, because of lack of engagement potential. And some of these might be controversial, so let me know. I know if Gizzard was in here, if he wasn't scared to join in tonight, he might disagree with me on some of these. So the first one is Snapchat. Snapchat's primary feature is sharing short-lived, disappearing content, which isn't going to really be ideal for building presence or sharing in-depth information about activism. Additionally, its user base tends to skew to the young, which may not be the target demographic for activism, at least in the past. So it's possible I'm wrong on that. Again, if I had a group in here, we would have a conversation about that. Next one might be the most controversial, so I'll leave that till the end. So the next one would be Tumblr. Yawning. Next one is Tumblr. It is primarily focused on niche communities in visual content, which may not be the best platform for activism. Its user base tends to be younger, and its engagement potential for political advocacy may be limited to some of the other platforms. Now, for me, I've only seen Tumblr really used for like photographers, and I don't know who's even using it. It's definitely not as used as like Pinterest or some of the others. So the next one is WhatsApp, another messaging app designed for personal communication. While it can be used for group chats and sharing updates, its focus is on the one-to-one sharing of conversations, and that might limit its ability to scale for larger activism. Did I taunt you in here?
Yes.
Well, thanks for jumping in. I hate having a chat for this whole time. It's like, you know what it's like.
I was listening and trying to edit video at the same time. So.
I appreciate it. So the next one is Flickr, a photo sharing platform mainly used by photographers and visual artists. Its user base and content focus may not be well suited for engaging in activism or building a community around a cause. So that's the one I'm not sure. Like, I think that if you had some engaging photography or imagery, you know, that's where, again, where you help normalize and start conversations, you know, out there, not echo chamber stuff.
Which one is this?
Flickr. I mean, it's not a big platform or nothing, but it is mostly artists just sharing each other's art.
Yeah, I'm not on that one.
So the last one is TikTok. And while it's hugely popular, its focus is on short, entertaining videos, and it might not be the best format for engaging in meaningful discussions about Second Amendment. Additionally, its content policies may be restrictive when it comes to sharing firearms-related content. But I don't know. I don't know. I thought, are you one of the ones that use TikTok?
Yeah, but they're not very gun friendly at all, depending on who you are. Most of us, smaller people anyway, once you've uploaded 2 or 3 guns and they start taking down your videos saying it doesn't meet their content guidelines. So I gave up even trying to post pictures of guns on there, even just little 15-second shorts of me holding a gun at SHOT Show. They took right off the platform. Threatened to take my channel away.
Do you still use it for anything else, like the knives or anything?
Yeah, I use it for the knives. And the engagement isn't much, but the views are decent. I'm not real sure what it gains me other than possibility that if they see TikTok, maybe 1 out of 10,000 might join up on YouTube. That's the only thing I can hope for, is cross content promotion.
Yeah. Okay, so then that's pretty much what I had. That it's important that the effectiveness of any of these platforms or apps for Second Amendment activism is going to vary depending on our goals, our target audiences, and our content strategies. And while some of these may be less effective in general, some of us are going to find success using them creatively, or as supplementary channels for our activism. And that's where, again, I was hoping to have a panel because I'm guessing that some people have had success on somewhere, others don't. And
Now,
I
just
don't
real
think
quick, Row calls out there, and he mentioned something that is true. He does do an awful lot of live streams and stuff like that on TikTok, where you can talk about the Second Amendment and stuff like that, and that seemingly you can get away with. So if you're wanting to reach out to people and get an opinion across or something like that, that might be a good platform to do that at.
and I never really paid attention to TikTok because I always just was had enough on my plate, so I just never did. And then I think you were showing it to us in somewhere, and yet just recently, and it looks nice. I mean, you archive your stuff; it's there. If somebody wants to scroll back, all they have to do is scroll down. So it's kind of like easier to scroll back than Instagram for sure.
Yeah, you're definitely going to reach, I believe, a younger audience over on TikTok than most of the other social medias, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we want to reach out to all the age groups and stuff like that. So, I mean, definitely not going for sub teenage or preteens, but, young adults and stuff like that.
I don't know if roll call wants link. Welcome. We're like an hour in or something, so it could end it here, or we could keep going. Were any of these that I don't know how much you were listening to? Any of them that you wanted to throw some insight in or some
Well,
more on?
for me, the amount of reach, the reach that I have is largely dependent on the following I have on the various platforms. Like, for example, Facebook, I know that I've got over 1,000 people I can talk to there. Uh, Twitter, it's just a few hundred, and then it goes down. Well, Instagram, of course, there's 1,500 or so there, but then it goes down. So while the platform itself might be good, if there aren't an awful lot of people following you there, then perhaps you can't get a lot done there. But I've tried quite a few of those, even Tumblr, and I get practically zero engagement there. But I have put some content out. I've tried just about everything, but including some really weird stuff like Reddit and oh, I did start a Snapchat at one time, but that's kind of a joke. Uh, so,
Did
yeah,
it did like the people over on Snapchat are there to hang out and to chat with their friends. They're not there to look for stuff. It's like Telegram. I think they're not there to look for groups or rooms.
Barron's mentioned that he says Gilded is pretty dead. That's my experience too. That started out pretty fast and then kind of died down. I mean, I built up about 15 or so followers, and that was pretty much it. Then the conversations pretty much went away, and it's hard to talk anybody into going over there. Discord's not much better, let's be real. So, and a lot of the things we used a platform like that for, having the community tab on YouTube's given us a way to instantly communicate with a good bit of our audience. So, uh, as far as Twitter goes, roll call's talking about. I use Twitter because it's a good place to keep an eye on the industry. I mean, you can follow different news organizations and their feeds fairly quickly there and get some fairly up to date news. Yes, you do have to be wary of all the weirdos out there and the trends that go on, but there is some good in Twitter amongst all the riffraff. So that's kind of my take on that.
I just threw Baron and roll call link if they want to jump in. So you're saying on Twitter you get issues with like trolls and stuff?
Not me personally, but it's just all the promotional posts, and then you've got people out there that are posting fake news articles and stuff like that. So you have to know what's real and what's not out there, and that's kind of hard to weed through sometimes. That and people tending to banter and argue back and forth amongst each other. So you have to look hard to find good, news sources, content sources, but you can generally follow. You can follow happenings in your state house and stuff like that. I know most of the news organizations around here have Twitter feeds and stuff like that. So it's not definitely not my primary place to go, but I've definitely gotten some value out of it. So I wouldn't say it's total trash. And I do post there too, and I do have some engagement on my post. So, I'm going to continue to stay there for the time being.
Wait, which one are you talking about now?
Twitter.
Okay. I just figured out that you can get a bunch of stats off Twitter. Do you look at your stats over there?
I haven't in quite a while.
I didn't even realize how cool the stats, like, what do you want to call, like the metrics, analytics, I guess is the way to say it, like how cool that even is on Twitter. But I haven't put much effort into Twitter. I find a lot of it is political chat, and I just don't, I don't political chat that much. So I don't have much to add. I don't really pay attention. I don't, my opinion is whatever's for 2A, done. So I just haven't dug in over there too much. But I know that a lot of people have been saying that it's doing way better for them.
Well, for example, I can generally get legislative tweets from my state legislature, and I can find out what bills are being debated that day. And a lot of times, like tomorrow, for example, they're debating the bill in Kansas where they're wanting to eliminate the fee for concealed carry licenses, and so that might be interested to go attend. In fact, I got a message not on Twitter but on Facebook from Rebecca Schmoy saying that if any Kansans would like to come to the state house and be part of the floor debate and stuff like that tomorrow afternoon would be a good time to go. So it's nice to the social media that you follow to be able to get little tidbits like that. So if you want to be involved in the process, then you can be. You don't have to read about it after the fact. You can actually go see the game, so to speak.
That's definitely something that I think ultimately would be cool to get the civic angle or the civic aspect, I guess, of Second Amendment advocacy. I think I really enjoy watching some of the testimonials. I don't enjoy that they're 10 hours long or 7 and 10 hours long.
Right.
Right. But if there was some way to, and I'm sure there are ways to chop that up and get the good parts, right? The important parts, the footnotes, then, anyway, using any of these platforms to get that kind of stuff out there and then archive would be good. Anyway, I'm awkwardly going to transition to roll call jumping in. Thanks for jumping in. It's late. I appreciate you jumping in late.
Yeah, no problem, man. I got a little bit of a head cold, and plus I'm checking the news, and social media is jumping off right now because of everything that's going on in society. So it's pretty interesting to see some of these platforms you talked about here in the last hour or so. I never really knew about them to a whole big extent. Like I see a lot of people jumping over to Rumble right now. Like everybody's talking about Rumble. But again, is it going to be like Gunstreamer or is it going to be somewhere else where you can reach the platitude of people that you're looking to reach? Is it going to be that big? And that's the big question when these newer platforms, start getting going. Gunstreamer was the thing, remember back in the day. Then it kind of fizzled out. Then you had Twitch, kind of fizzled out. Then you still have Discord here and there, but a lot of people are just moving away from that stuff. And I think with whatever the government says about TikTok. I think TikTok's really advanced. I mean, what you can do on that app, you can't do on Instagram. You can't do it on other platforms. You can stitch people's videos. You can go into these people's videos, take out the piece you want to debate, and you can put it on there for 3 minutes. And you can give them the what for over there on TikTok. You can't do that on these other platforms as far as I know. Again, I haven't explored all of them. But again, it's who you want to reach. I mean, right now TikTok's blowing up, especially with what happened today. There's tons of 2A talk on that platform right now, more than I've ever seen. But again, is this going to die out in 2 weeks, and then we're going to get back to the puppy videos and the things like that? That's the thing about.
Oh, sure. But isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Like, people aren't going to be 100% on everything 100% of the time, right? They're going to be. That's the you're going to throw a net out there where the fish are. So if people are chatting about it, and you can be in there and be part of that discussion, and then you can go do your thing, but knowing that there's this opportunity, knowing if you throw that net at a time like, when it's applicable, that you can be effective or have some input, that's valuable. So you got his account over here. This is Gizzard's account over on TikTok. I think it's a fairly clean platform. It looks like it's essentially archivable, because I don't know if you got playlists and stuff also.
I don't know if it's a playlist, but you can archive tons of videos.
So you can just kind of scroll back, and then you got your liked videos, and that's probably other people's stuff too. But anyway, so I think that's pretty handy. And then it's got links to your other socials. That's pretty handy. Of course, there's the element that China's involved with it. I mean, we got to mention that. Well, do you got one over here?
Yeah, I got one over there.
Yeah.
You should go see some of the views that I get. I mean, sometimes it'll come on.
What is it, roll call?
Yeah, it's roll call. Everything's roll call 219G. Everything. It's everything roll call 219. Yeah, there I am. But
397 followers.
I went from
likes.
I went from 352 followers today to 397. That's how much play I got in just the 4 videos I made today.
So these last 4 are talking about today's situation and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And then like this, you're able to just go in and grab somebody's element here and then add to it?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's the greatest thing that I like about this, because you don't have to like sit through the whole video or jot it down on a piece of paper. You can just go to the video, cut it, and be like, look, this is what's happening, and these people are lying, or this is fake information. What I really like to do over there is really befuddle these people and tell them the information that you're getting from, whether it's the White House, a senator, or just some random people over there. Hey, man, that's wrong information. I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, you do engage with people. I've seen where they'll comment back and you will comment back to them. And there's a lot of talk back and forth with you and your viewers and stuff like that. So that's what we call definite, engagement, which is good.
Yeah, there's huge engagement. Huge engagement.
Do they care if you put a link to Amazon do you have a description of the video and you put it up here?
As far as I know, they don't care about links, but they are really sketch if you're giving links to firearm stuff, dude. They are so anti-gun. It is unreal. Like, that's why the majority of my videos are not. There's no guns in the picture. There's nothing like that. It's just to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because their guidelines, if you thought YouTube's guidelines were strict, dude, TikTok's is horrible when it comes to firearms. I'm surprised Gary still has knife videos, which is cool. But again, if somebody starts knifing 75 people in a row, I'm sure they're going to come and talk to Gary.
I have had 2 of them taken down, and then I got them back on appeal. But I have had them taken down. Yeah.
Yeah. You can. I think the appeal process is another. I think is way better than YouTube. Like with YouTube, your appeal process, you got to go run to Clover. or you got to be a Hickok 45 kind of channel to get any kind of movement to get stuff back at times on appeals. Every appeal that I've done, I've either got a response from it or they're like, look, it just violates community guidelines. There's nothing we could do about it.
And
And
usually you get
it's
a
really
quick
straightforward.
response too. So.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. They'll come back real quick. And I think that's the huge difference between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff. Like, you gotta follow their guidelines. And I hate to do it. We all like to speak our minds to a point, but you have to walk those lines on that platform or they're gonna ding you. That's why if you go into some of the comments on the videos people have, there's user 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, because these people keep on getting banned off the platform because they think that, one of the big talking points is, oh, Twitter's free speech. No, it's not. It's monitored and it's digitized to put you in an algorithm, but it can also really isolate you on the content that you do. That's another thing you got to kind of look out for. They'll isolate you real quick and you'll get little to no views. If you look at some of the videos that I've pinned on there, some of those videos, like the Glock video, that has over 170,000 views. That's more than what I've gotten on YouTube. And YouTube's a way bigger plethora of people looking at that platform than TikTok was at some time before TikTok really jumped off. So there's a lot of different things that you can do on that platform, but you gotta kind of walk that fine line about the guidelines on that platform, or they'll ding you every time, man. They'll get you every time.
So what were you saying about live? There's a live version over here?
Well, that's the thing, man. It's just like YouTube, man. You got to get to 1,000 people.
Okay.
You got to get to 1,000 people, man. And it is so hard because let's face it, man. So social media it's for some people and it's not for others. And then your channel can be for some people and it won't be for others. I've noticed if I've said some controversial things, like all gun control is, unconstitutional. You have those people that say that they're pro 2A, but, and they'd be following you for a while and you'll lose hundreds of subscribers at a time. So it's almost really tough to get to 1,000 unless you have created such a base, or you're really far left or you're really far right. And I think that's one of the downturns of TikTok, man. You got to be in that little bit of a threshold of wherever your base sits or wherever your viewership is. But again, I'm trying to be a gun channel on there, but not be a gun channel. And that's really hard to do because the majority of people that like to talk about guns on that platform, they get banned. I mean, the only people that I haven't seen get banned yet is Grantham. He's been doing really good on there. And then a lot of people, like, they'll take your videos. That's another thing that's kind of odd. They can take your videos and then they can post them on their channel. So copyright issues is not a thing there. There's really no copywriting.
Well, it's the thing, like, you can take somebody's video and then reply to it or make like funny faces at it, or
yeah,
like you can do that kind of stuff. So that's kind of encouraged. So that's why you're putting stuff there. Or when you put stuff there, you assume that kind of stuff can happen, I
guess. Yeah. But the live thing is, if you're looking to make a side hustle, I've seen some people really bank off of TikTok. If you're looking for a side hustle and you can play this right, if you're into that kind of journey in social media, man, these people make a lot of money on that platform. They make a ton if you're into that kind of thing. But again, you're going to have to play the game. You're going to have to abide by guidelines, watch what kind of content you put in there, so on and so forth.
And you have to have, I looked into it, you have to have 10,000 followers just to get monetized on there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, you have to be a huge social media presence to really be some kind of an anchor on that platform. And I've been trying. I've been at 100 followers on that platform, and I've been all the way up to 460. But I've gone down to like 449 because some people, man, they just can't take. You guys know. Well, you guys know how I am. Some people can take it, some people can't when you dish it back out. But you can. And another thing I really like about it is you can respond to people's comments with a video. You can. All you have to do is press on their comment. That's what those little white boxes are there in my videos. Those are people's comments, and because you only get so many
Oh, I'm thinking
characters.
video. You're saying a comment. That's freaking neat. That is one of
Yeah.
the things that YouTube shut off and kind of
Yep.
ruined YouTube in a lot of ways when you couldn't video reply.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
really neat now. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know if any of the other platforms let you do that?
I don't know of any.
No,
That
I
is
don't.
kind of neat. And that's
Yes.
definitely going to get a lot of viewer involvement, I would think, right? Because then people
yeah.
know that you're probably going to talk shit to them or something.
Yeah. More. That's where you start seeing a lot of gains. That's where you see a lot of gains when you put these people, like those people today that were talking to me saying like, oh, you can't carry at the NRA show, you can't carry at gun shows. I'm like, where have you been? I said, I hope to see you in April when you're down there in Indy with me. Oh, well, I don't go to those propaganda things. I'm like, is it really propaganda? I said, it's a trade show. And then you really put them on blast, and you can see where they lie and where their knowledge is. Like, gee, if you went over there and you started something and you were doing stuff, and with all your knowledge and not only on firearms but basic common knowledge on law, dude, you would mop these people up, and I think they shrivel up and go back into their hole.
You can't look at who you're following. That's one of the things I was going to talk about too. So maybe if I was logged in, you can click on people, because that's one of the things about like Parler and some of the ones that are smaller. Minds, no, I don't even know about Minds, but Parler and what's the other one? I guess I can just look on my list here. This is my list of ones that I'm connected to, but Getter and MeWe are really good for, you can go to the person and then like I'm going to go to Gizzard's thing here. See, I can't click on his followers and see who those people are, but on some platforms you can go in there and see who's following who, and then you can go, oh, there's so-and-so. I didn't know so-and-so was on here. Click, like, oh, there's DJ. Click, so that's a thing about Rumble. That's what I was going to talk about. So on TikTok, you guys are both on TikTok, but you're not, there's not a community of gun channels or something over there. There's not like people communicating and doing stuff. Everybody's just dropping.
Not really that I've noticed anyway.
There's small cliques, I would call them. There's small cliques where, again, when you get the live access, when you meet that threshold, you can have it reminds me of Hangouts. Remember Hangouts, where you can have like 15 people in your chat? That's how you can get it to go. And then all those people that follow each other and they talk about firearms and things like that, you can have these people in your chat. And that's what really sets it apart. And what else is on here? You can see who views your profile. Like it tracks.
That's like LinkedIn, where you can go to LinkedIn and see who's been looking at your stuff.
Yeah. You can see that. Yeah, you can see that. I mean, there's some things that I like about it. There's other things that, I don't know how these guys do it. Like, there's a ton of people sitting on a range and shooting on a range. I mean, there's video after video after video, and the algorithm is so tight. If you're going to look at gun stuff is going to show up in your feed on your, they call it the For You page. If you look at puppy dogs all day, that's all you're going to get. It's going to feed you. Well, that's
cool. With Instagram, you can look at guns all day, and it's going to show you girls. It's never just going to show you guns anymore. It's been years since it'd show you guns or your friends or whatever. Now it just shows you like girls and jokes and people get kicked in the nuts or whatever, like the default Instagram screen is.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about TikTok. is once you they tell you get trapped in the algorithm of the left or the right, or you get trapped in the algorithm of food
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. It just feeds you those videos constantly. That's how a lot of people today found it, because when you start hashtagging stuff, hashtags are powerful on TikTok. Very powerful. Once you put a hashtag on there, like if you do Nashville today, doesn't matter. Just put hashtag Nashville in there. Whoever's looking for Nashville, they're going to find you. They're going to find your platform, and they're going to find your videos, because you're going to get stuck in that side of the algorithm. But you can reset it too. All you have to do is hit the back button, and it kind of resets you to find your next algorithm you want to fall into. Is that too nerdy? Do you understand that?
I think I follow it. I was also kind of looking at your guys' stuff here. It doesn't say how long you've had the account. Like sometimes platforms will say, when you started or whatever.
Right.
So how long have you had these accounts?
Mine's
Years?
Couple
close.
of years.
Yeah, mine's close to a year or two.
Okay, so it's not like as long as your YouTube channels or nothing.
No.
No.
Okay. All right, so that's
Yeah.
cool. So I'm going to move on from TikTok just because I appreciate it's late and I just don't want to keep everybody, because if we get too nerdy, then we'll be here for 3 hours. So this one that from the list or whatever was called Meetup, and I'd never heard of it. It says Meetup is a platform designed to facilitate the organization of local events and gatherings. You can help activists use Meetup to create and promote events such as workshops, rallies, and educational seminars. This platform can help activists find and connect with like-minded individuals in their local area. So I don't know. I just thought this thing was neat, and it looks like it's free, I guess.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
That would be interesting if you could use that to, form rallies or give information on rallies and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You
Set up an account for like the calendar site, and then just basically put in a bunch of events. It says sign up, but down here it says be an affiliate. So what are you an affiliate of if there's nothing to buy? Commission junction.
Advertising affiliate. Okay. So I
What does
guess
that
it
mean?
must be ad served somehow.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, unless unless they're just trying to get the word out and they're paying people to get the word out, then is there a fee? Because I don't see anything. There isn't. Usually they'd say something like, the cost or something. Meetup Pro, start a free trial now. So I guess there's a pro version of it. Well, that makes sense. If they're going to let you do the free one uh, until you like it or you outgrow it, and then give you a pro one, that could be where the affiliate thing comes from. But I really don't see anything in here about paying, so I think it's free. I'm going to probably dig into this a little bit because it might work for a couple of the projects we're working on. But if not, then we'll leave that one. I was going to then jump over to, DJ is saying Meetup is old. Old like it's been around for a long time and no one's using it, or in a different way? So Rumble. Roll call, you don't have a Rumble?
No, I kind of looked at it for a brief moment in time, but I've been focusing. Of course, focusing on YouTube, but I've just seen a lot of people like move over there. Like I noticed Ghost the other day moved over there, and I don't quite know what it's about. I don't know what the structure of the website is, or how it functions. I just never gave it a look. But I hear tons of people are going over there. Tons. Some people say it's dead.
No, it's useless. I mean, effectively, but let's take a look at it. So at least I don't think it's used. I don't think it's good for nothing. But we got AR went over there because of the reloading stuff. AR Gun 1776 on YouTube. Christian 740 is over there. So we'll just start popping some of these channels. We got, I just popped Chris's twice. That's Okay, almost did this right. We got Clover Tack. He's a dude who's from Texas and he does things. We got Honda. Got Gabby Franco. She's legit. We got Ghost Tactical. We're already looking at Gizzard Zizzes. I guess I'm over here. Should I put Liberty Doll up here? She's on YouTube. Night Strike. I don't know which ones of these is legit because he's got two. Rumble wasn't big enough for him, so he had to have 2 seats. Artak and Daughters. Sandhills. Shooting Gallery New England. Tar Smiths. Grace Curley Show. Travis, you may have heard of him. Unloaded Media. I don't know if he does stuff over there. Zeke Shoots. And then Cape Gunworks. Oh, and then Paul Lathrop. And I don't know if this is supposed to be the Second Amendment Foundation's one or whatever. So I just figured we'd zip through them. So
mine is basically just set up as a mirror. So I have it connected to my YouTube account. So anything I post on YouTube, it just automatically brings over here.
Okay. And then I'm just going to look quickly at view count, a couple of 4 or 5, couple of views.
Yeah, it's not much.
And then 32 followers. And then we're just going to zip through 80 followers, 23222 AR guns, 114 because they came over for the reloading and stuff. 43333 Clover 9 12 13 12 15 21 11. Who's he paying? What's going on with that? Honda 279. He's got the win, right? Yeah, 279 so far. 477 7 4. And this is probably when he was
when
he
Honda
was-
got he got
kicked off, right?
He got kicked off of YouTube for a while where he couldn't do live streams, so he was doing his live streams over here on Rumble.
And he brought a bunch of people over, and that probably happens on the regular, right? And that's advantage Rumble. But still, 279 followers. His last thing, 4. The one before it had Night Strike, so he was able to anchor it with a Night Strike appearance, 77. The one before it, 7. Or no, wait, 45, sorry. Oh no, I'm reading the wrong number. 109. I'm reading the wrong number. I'm reading the thumbs up. So 109 was his last one. 77, 45, 25, 59. So that's not bad for a different site. So 279. Got Gabby Franco with 78. She's got 44, 44, 14, 58. And these are all quite a while ago. She hasn't been using it. How did she get a picture up there? None of us have a picture up there.
Yeah, Steven Crowder's on Rumble too. And I guess he's got a huge following on there. A lot of people
that's what I've heard too. Is that people got kicked off of YouTube, right? And they went to Rumble. So then, boom, all of their audiences just went.
There are a lot of people use Rumble for videos that they can't put on YouTube because of YouTube's policies. So, for example, I think that Chris from the 740, and I don't mean to speak for him, but I believe he told me that, stuff that involves, say, disassembly of a gun or even something as simple as screwing on a suppressor or something like that, which you can't do on YouTube. So a lot of people will create a video on YouTube and say, okay, if you want to see the rest of this, go check out my Rumble channel and you can see the full video.
And that's what I thought about doing.
It's not a bad idea.
So we got Ghost with 43. He's got one with 55, and I don't know what happened to this one, but it doesn't have any, I think, unless it's busted. I got 133. Mine are more like all over the place. 55, 19, 58, 17, 12, 2. So they go all over the place. And I don't remember. Rumble is one where you have to upload the whole video, correct? You can't just push the video from YouTube like you can with some of the sites.
Yeah, all mine come over automatically from YouTube.
Well, I don't have mine cooked up like that, so I have to.
You mean individual videos? Yeah.
Yeah, like some of them you can, like on guntube.org, I can upload it individually, or I can just go to YouTube and drop the URL in GunTube will go get it for me and put in all the stuff, and all I got to do is go click, and now it's on GunTube. And that's how GunStreamer is, and that's how UGETube is. They just don't have that over here. And that's what's frustrating for me about Rumble, is that I got to then take my video off of YouTube, because I don't produce my videos. I just do live pretty much. So I got to take my video from YouTube and then download it and then upload it again.
Kind of like you had to on Full 30.
I never did Full 30, but yeah, if that's the way they did it too, then yeah, exactly. And it was just annoying. Like when you're making a video and you've already got it on your computer and you're pushing it to YouTube, then who cares who else you got to push it to? It's just that if YouTube creates it like this is being created on YouTube, then it's just annoying. Plus, these are huge. You know, the three-hour videos and stuff end up being sometimes. So we got Liberty Doll definitely winning with 2,000 followers over here. And well, this video is only 6 hours old. It barely has any use or movement yet. The one from 3 days ago has 145 views, 159 views. And now you're seeing 34 engagements with the thumbs, but 3 comments on 145, 4 comments, 3 comments. So even a channel who is the biggest channel we've seen so far, you know, isn't getting a ton of feedback. And I don't know if it's, you know, if she's attempting, if she's saying like, hey, please leave some feedback over on Rumble so we can chat on Rumble. You know, it's different than if you don't mention it at all. What the hell? Night Strike with 22 followers has 126 with his first Rumble stream. So I don't know who he paid to get all those views from. 34 views on this one, 21, 8. So you can stream on Rumble? I guess you can.
Yes, you can. That.
And I think the deal is you can only stream for like 22 minutes. So I streamed a couple of times, I think, and then got sick of it. Because you can't connect it to this thing. It's the StreamYard, can you?
Yes, you can.
Oh, well then maybe I'll shut up and start streaming.
You have to set it up as a custom RTMP destination, but yeah.
And then is it each time you got to fiddle with it, or like
yes,
set it up? Okay, so it's like going to GunTube.
Yeah, you got individual stream keys each time, so
okay,
you got to jump through.
It's a little bit of a hassle, but it ain't that big of a hassle, really.
No.
Essentially, they just give you a new number each time you got to plug into StreamYard, but you can set it all up ahead of time. You just have to plug the new number in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Artac, 44 followers, 6217. So, you know, like a normal channel. Sandhills, 37, 335. He must have had Night Strike on that one. 168, 139. So definitely Sandhills is getting a lot of views over here, considering he's got 37 followers. So we should ask Sandhills, who had a link for tonight, has a link for tonight, how he's getting all these views, because that's a lot of views over there. I think
it is pretty
more
impressive.
Than Liberty Doll, right? Yeah, Liberty Doll only had hundreds and hundreds and 244. So whatever Sandhills is doing is knocking it out of the park with 37 followers. It's so weird. So maybe it's because if you embed it somewhere and people watch it, it counts as a view. That might be interesting. Then you could use this as a counter to get some insight. Like it's if that's the case, you know, you follow me? If you can put up an embedded version of this video from Rumble on your website or in a blog, let's say, and then the views that it gets on your blog or on your website count, then you're using your Rumble as another analytic for your blog and your website, you know, in a way, because you're seeing what kind of reach you get. You're getting a number for the amount of reach, you know, the amount of views. Anyway, that's kind of neat. And if there's a comment thing, I haven't really looked about embedding a Rumble video. Anyway, let's get through this. There's a couple more. Shooting Gallery New England, 94 followers, and 16, 22. It's pretty decent. It's one of the more solid ones we've seen. I know that him and Crump and some of the others all came over together, so maybe, you know, they came over with some momentum. Plus, he hangs out with Night Strike all the time. Tara Smith's doing cooking videos over here, right? 36 followers.
She started doing some interviews too, so.
Okay, yeah. So I haven't, obviously not too many people watch this one, but I haven't looked through here. I don't watch cooking videos, so that's my thing. But, well, again, regular channel, you know, you can expect to get regular numbers, I guess. Then we got Grace Curley, another girl, another 2,000 follower channel, and totally different. she's got a radio show though, and she hosts a radio show over here. And this is my most experience with Rumble, is hanging out on this show when it's 2A Tuesday with Cape Gunworks is over there. And sometimes they don't stream it on YouTube, so I'll watch it over on Rumble. And they get a lot of people commenting and stuff, so you can see 2,000 views, 2,000 views, 2,000 plus. 1,000, almost 2,000 views there, another 2,000 plus. So they're consistently getting almost 2,500 views on these shows. And the comments
if you could build a follower base over there, that would be great, because on Rumble you don't have to worry near so much about the content guidelines. You could pretty much say what's on your mind. So for a talk opinion type show, it might be just perfect if you can get your target audience over there. Evidently somebody knows what they're doing here. So
yeah, well, again, she's got a radio show, and this is the video stream of the radio show. So on her website, there is an embed of it. So obviously there's a way to embed it. And in that case, it's the radio show. But yeah, like you're saying, if you could, assemble or just go around a suppressor or whatever the things are, yeah, you could do it over here effectively then. So we're still looking at the good parts of it, though. Let's see. Then there's Travis, 27. And what is going on? How come his isn't showing us? Am I crazy? Or is it not showing us any stats? Does he have his stats turned off?
He might have his stats turned off.
I didn't know you could do that. So then Rich, and he's posting his stuff regularly. So again, regular channel. He's not pushing it, obviously. But he's gotten a couple of views. And it's like, they'll get one view here for a bit, and then it gets to 2 or 3 or 4. So they're accumulating, right, over time. Yeah. But
he hasn't been there that long. I think this is fairly recent that he jumped over there.
So Zeke, 165 followers, and 23, 17, 48, 36. But definitely gun stuff. Cape Gunworks, 100 followers. 548. Wow. 426. 235. Wow. 100. So I know a week or two there, they got kicked off of YouTube and had to push it over here, but it wasn't like last week. It was one of these other ones. So, oh, you know what? This is the Grace Curley show ones, maybe. No, it's not really. It's kind of alternating. Wow. So I'll have to ask them what the deal is there, if they're doing something or what. But that one's, again, maybe it's the radio show aspect, because they have it embedded on their website also. So I guess the radio show goes out and then people hear it maybe and go, oh, I need to go listen to it again. Or I didn't listen to the radio show, so I'm going to go listen to it now. It's like the rerun. So they must be getting some engagement like that, I'm guessing. And then we got Paul, who's posting his stuff over here. 32 followers. Look at that, 159 in 6 hours. 83, 249, 140. I think we can see something about 2A stuff being popular over here. I wonder where he's posting his embeds. So it'd be worth talking to Paul, who also has an invite to show up tonight. So he's probably sleeping. But that's pretty darn good, considering if you went over and looked at him on YouTube right now. And then I go over to, see how slow my internet is? You would think I'd have fast internet. I don't have fast internet. I have to sit around waiting like this all the time. Ridiculous. That's why I kick out sometimes. Did I just kick out right now waiting for this?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm going to try to find the one from earlier today. Daily Bullet, 7 hours ago, 23 views. 6 hours ago, 159 views. So they're getting something of a scale of, what is that? 6 times more over here?
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So hopefully that was interesting. Here's the thing about Rumble now. So am I logged in? Yeah, I'm logged in. So here's the thing about Rumble. if I go to, let's go to a lot of things. Like I don't like very much about it. I forgot about the live stream. I mean, I wish some of these other things were good. My content. Okay, so it took me a while to figure out what they call it. I mean, if you only got 10 videos, then this ain't no problem. But what happens if you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos? Like you can't search, you can't sort. Like you can search, I guess, but that's it. Like there's no playlist kind of stuff going on. It's very difficult to sort your videos. I don't know if this search has been there the whole time, because I remember when I was first in here trying to do something, I was like, are you kidding me? I got to scroll all the way back every time. Like there's no point in putting a lot of videos over here because of that. So that's one of the things I didn't like, is the navigation behind the scenes. Now we get the stats and analysis, so I'm all down for that. I like it when they give you something to monitor how your stuff's doing. What does this mean? 4 ad eligible. I guess I got 4 videos that can get ads.
Wow.
I'll have to dig into that sometime. But so anyway, the other thing I didn't like about it though is the modernization. So have they changed that now? So chat, maybe they have. Muted users, okay, I can handle that. And then moderators. Okay. So how do I add a moderator? They're trying to add yourself as a moderator. So, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to add a moderator. I'm supposed to know your email address. No. Maybe when you're on the channel saying something, I can right click and add you as a moderator, hopefully. And I got some, well, maybe I'll shut up, because I think back in the day, my problem was like when I was watching Grace Curley, like a bunch of people were saying some rude stuff and there was no way to do anything about it. And I was not really interested in being on a platform where it was going to be unmoderated. But if they're adding that stuff to it, then, and there's monetization, then that ain't bad. And then there's this whole license thing. Do you understand the license thing?
It's complicated on here.
Oh, see, I guess I don't know how to get to it. But you have like 4 different levels of licensing, which I guess is cool, because if you posted something like real estate video, right? Some interesting real estate video in a place that had interesting stuff to look at or whatever. Bro called to jump out. Thanks for hanging in there. Then if somebody was going to use that, they would pay you a royalty essentially. And then you could also grant them, I think, like a exclusive royalty or something like that, right?
Right.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of neat. And there's some other platforms that let you do stuff like that. Sorry, I just got a text. Yeah, I thought of that too. But I still send people links just in case they're awake, you know. Anyway, so that was my gripes about Rumble, is that I wasn't sure about the monetization or whatever, and the not being able to really sort through your videos all that good. But that's not really that big a deal. So I think the streaming over here is a big deal, and there's some. Is there like a super chat or anything like that? Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
$1. You could probably change that. Oh yeah. 500. Let's get out of here before I accidentally drop $500.
And you can tie your Rumble's channel to a locals channel, I believe, for
I
for
think I've already.
supporters, if you want to.
And you have live streamed over here?
I've done a couple tests, is all. Yeah.
And you can have more than one channel, which is kind of cool too. So you can manage them from one place, I guess. I haven't done another channel, but that's
The
kind of
weird thing about it, if you look up somebody on Rumble, a lot of times you'll see they're on there twice, like you did Night Strike.
Yeah.
And what that means is one of those is his account when he set it up, and then the second one is his channel. you'll see the same thing if you look me up. I signed up as Gizzard Gary, and then there's a Gizzard Gary channel.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's real confusing the way they do that.
Yeah, I know locals, and I think it's like that too, where it took me a while to figure out, like, oh, I have to go flip to a different view to be whatever. Like,
And Utreon is a lot like that too. So
oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Well, I tell you what, I'm almost 2 hours in. I appreciate you jumping in here, but yeah, we just wanted to dig into some alternative platforms and some creative ways to use them. And I appreciate you guys jumping in to give us some like real life experiences with them. Obviously, there's Facebook. I've been actually using Facebook again lately. I thought I would try to schedule Instagram, and you can do it through Facebook for free, I thought. So I spent too much time going in there and scheduling out like 3 months worth of Instagrams, and it deleted them all for some reason. Like it kept the Facebook schedules, but then none of the Instagram ones. And I suspect it has something to do with when you change logins or something. Anyway, it's too complicated. I do not like the whole meta thing. But I had now I have a billion Facebook posts going out there. We'll see what happens with that. But it is a lot cleaner than it used to be. For a while there, Facebook was such a mess. I just hated it because one, I just don't like the platform for lots of reasons, but then it was just also such a mess. Like there was nothing to like about it. I didn't like a whole bunch of things, and then every time I went there, it was just confusing. And it would change all the time, and I don't know. It's probably the nature of trying to accomplish so many tasks with it that it gets huge. Twitter, everybody's been talking about. Again, it's pretty basic, but we could probably have a whole show on just Twitter. And then Instagram, where I'm liking Instagram less and less and less. It was a lot of fun for a while there, but like I say, every time I post a picture of a gun, it seems they'll tag me in my account for selling.
yeah,
And then, sometimes I can challenge it and sometimes I can't, or if I do, they don't accept it. And that's just frustrating. I know we're all banned or whatever it's called, where you have to type in our names completely to find each other.
shadow band. Yeah,
That's super annoying too.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, of course, big giant platform. A lot of us are on it, and we could probably talk forever about this one too. So that's why we didn't really talk about those too much at all. But hopefully, with the rest, we gave people some ideas of things to chat about or to use to chat online, and maybe some creative ways to explore sharing 2A or your archive your adventures when you get something like a writer's block or just get sick of it. For me, I've experienced this often, and it keeps happening. You'd think you'd figure it out, and I don't know, Gizzard, you're old. There's something that the first times it happens to you, you're like, when you're young, I guess, you go, oh, now I'm wise. I figured something out. Now I know what old people were always saying. I mean, probably in my 30s or somewhere in my 20s, I was probably like, oh, now I get it. Now I'm wise,
Right.
And then maybe in your 30s or 40s, you have some other realization that you're like, yeah, I was such a dumbass. Now I'm wise. Now I got it. Now I figured it all out. And you keep having these plateaus where you're like, oh, yeah, now I got it. I just figured it out. Now I got it all figured out. So anyway, I don't even know where I was going. Yeah, I literally don't even know where I was going. It's getting late. Yeah, where was I going with that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm just saying that there's a lot of these platforms out there. We can use them in interesting ways, have some fun with them. Something about writer's block, and you kind of just get, or maybe. Oh, I guess I was going to say about the waves and stuff. You see these waves, you see these like trends, you see these fluctuations or these, back and forth that'll happen, and they just become more apparent over time, I guess, after you see them over and over and over again. And we've got a lot of new gun owners, and they're paying a lot more attention. They're not as casual as gun owners used to be. A lot of times I think when you grew up with a shotgun in the closet, you're a real casual gun owner. Yeah, I care about my rights and I'll vote my rights, but yeah, I don't really care that much about all this other stuff that's going on, right? And now you got people who came into the mix because the gun was trying to be taken away from them. So that's the reason they got into it in a big way, was for their rights. And then they're paying attention to these things in a whole different way. Well, I appreciate you jumping in, Gizzard, and
You bet.
letting us explore this stuff. If you're out there still, a lot of people have jumped off by now. But if you're listening to this in the future, if you're out there now, feel free to chime in with anything else before we head out. Otherwise, let's see. It is Monday evening. We've got one set up tomorrow already. I'm going to dissect the 5.5 hours of the ATF When Is Enough Enough? That Congress's committee. It's a super long committee name. It's like the committee for this and that and the other thing and another thing and another thing and overreach. So they had a 5.5 hour series of testimonials and opportunities for elevator speeches or whatever that's called. And I'm sure there's some good stuff in there and some repetitive stuff, but we'll dig into that a little bit tomorrow. And we're gonna have the technical quiz on Wednesday. Gizzard, you've got a show this week?
I do. Friday night, Foul Territory, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central.
Got a theme already? I haven't seen the theme.
No, I haven't even posted the show yet. I got to come up with something. Last week I drew a blank, and it didn't turn out to be a real great show. So we're gonna have to put our thinking caps on and see if we can come up with something interesting to talk about this week. I'm sure we'll find something.
Yeah, I always say if you got trying to think of a show, because I've done a bunch of shows where I'm going into it, just cold. Go to a channel, random channel, somebody you like, somebody you've never heard of, whatever. Go to their channel, go to their video page, flip it to most popular, and take a look at the first couple of topics there. And that's usually a pretty random way to get a fresh idea. And sometimes, even if you don't use those 3 or 4, they trigger something that you're like, yep, that's what I wanted to do a show about, and I forgot. So sometimes in a spur of the moment, just jump over to YouTube and look at somebody's video page. Because typically their most interesting videos will have a topic that's pretty popular or something, right?
Right.
All right. Well, with that, again, thanks, DJ, for dropping links out there. Thanks to Worthwhile Fun was out there for being real and getting stuff done in real life out there. For Roll Call for jumping in, Baron for helping out, and for purchasing stuff over at the Gear website store. Much appreciated. For everybody else that's out there, have a great evening. And I'll put a quick commercial up here for the Gear website store. Lots of free patches. I harvested many, many, many patches at SHOT Show. So pretty much all the time, anything you buy comes with free patches.
Hey, did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items. We have shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.
I said we came about free patches, and then I put up the commercial for the Spreadshirt print-on-demand stuff. So appreciate people that buy the print-on-demand stuff, but there's no way I know that you purchase anything until after it happens, and I can't send out a patch like that. So caveat to that, when you purchase print-on-demand stuff, let me know, and next time you purchase something from the store, I'll send out 2 free patches for sure, but I can't send out stuff to print-on-demand. We usually make about $5 on each of those, and shipping is usually $4. So. But I do appreciate the people that buy stuff over there. I don't know how well that's worked for Gizzard, but we only made about $40 last year. I was just doing taxes, so I happen to know that number off the top of my head. I think it was like $46 or something like that. So it's
more than I made.
It's neat, but it's not like an income source, But it's better than buying T-shirts. We would have lost a bunch of money trying to buy T-shirts or something, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm just going to jump down, make sure I didn't miss any last comments. Nope. All right, thanks everybody.